25 years ago, the Wonder Years ended. The Wonder Years went on from 1988 to 1993. And this show, I love this show. Things never turn out exactly the way you planned. I know they didn't with me. Still, like my father used to say, traffic's traffic. You go where life takes you. And growing up happens in a heartbeat. One day you're in diapers, the next you're gone, but the memories of childhood stay with you for the long haul. I remember a time, a place, in particular 4th of July. The things that happened in that decade of war and change. I remember a house, like a lot of houses, a yard, like a lot of yards, on a street, like a lot of other streets. I remember how hard it was growing up among people in places I loved. Most of all, I remember how hard it was to leave. And the thing is, after all these years, I still look back in wonder. Series finale there, when we find out that Kev's father passes away. Winnie and Kev never do become a couple, never do get married as you all thought they would, and it's not happily ever after. Wayne does take over his father's business. It's a series that and the whole series where I've actually binge watched, I think, more than twice on Netflix. And it's a show that I remember as a kid watching. And listen, guys, Josh Savino Paul is not Marilyn Manson. Can we please stop with that urban myth there? And before Corey and Topanga, there was Kevin and Winnie. And I always kind of thought it was cool how they used Fred Savage's a real life younger brother, Ben Savage, Corey, to kind of reincarnate Kevin. It was pretty much like the same type of show. It's just different ending there. Corey and Topanga get married, Kevin and Winnie don't. Okay, let's face it, we all became sad when we found out that wasn't the case. And that that final show there to end the series was the saddest, probably, as a kid at that point, probably one of the saddest endings that you could see as a kid. They didn't know, while filming, but that voice over, they for sure, that with the voiceover there in that whole series, that was also a cool thing for me. And he talked about, I think in that last episode too, and that's when it kind of feels like a gut punch when him talking about meeting Winnie to pick her up from the airport with his wife. Right? How shocked were you? Always assumed that they would be together. Shows really nowadays could never really can't hold a candle to the ones back in the day. Like Wonder Years, Married with Children, Family Matters, Saved by the Bell. They're just not like they used to. Maybe it's the Maybe it's just the way society is right now. Maybe kids, adults, you can't be engaged for half an hour. Maybe the new wave, and it seems like it's going that way, it will be a la carte, where, in clips of 5 minutes time, and there's the whole show. And this is a time back when a family could sit in the living room and enjoy some quality TV. Now, it's funny how the house looks exactly the same. If you ever go driving by it down there, the house in that area, the house that they used for shot, it looks exactly the same. Same thing with the Brady Bunch house. Well written, well acted show. And the show I think that most likely kind of, to me nowadays, resembles Wonder Years, kind of reminds me in a way, is This Is Us. So if you guys never watched that, watch that back as well. I always thought too, this is just my my 2 cents, and who knows, they should do kind of like a new show, maybe called, call it something like Wonder Years 2, or Wondered Years, something to that effect. And it would be Kevin and Winnie all grown up, and now their children are the show. Maybe their children become best friends. Or maybe you could even spin it where they got back together years later. I think that show, that just for nostalgia purposes, will get a lot of buzz. So, I don't know, just a thought. Just reminiscing about the Wonder Years. Hope all is well.